Welcome to Body Soul Healing with Monika Maria, a space for gentle yet profound transformation. I'm a certified herbalist, certified nutrition specialist, and most importantly, a trauma-informed medical intuitive, and the mother of 2 adult children. Through this podcast, I help people understand how trauma, chronic illness, and a dysregulated nervous system intertwine, and how to begin finding safety, energy, and a trust in themselves again. You can find my one-on-one session courses and free guides Is This Trauma at solameliora.com. Today, I want to share where I come from, because everything I teach has grown out of lived experiences. I was a neurodivergent child growing up in the 70s and 80s, long before anyone really understood what autism could look like, especially in girls. I masked well and functioned on the surface, but inside I was constantly analyzing, scanning for emotional cues, trying to predict other people's moods. Home was not a safe place at all, and my mother was emotionally absent, unpredictable, and often cruel. There was childhood emotional neglect, narcissistic abuse, and at times physical abuse. Until I was about 14, my nervous system developed under constant stress. Always alert, always bracing, never truly safe. That shaped my experience of the world. And I learned early that love had to be earned through silence and compliance. As a small child, I was often ill and I had repeated bouts of strep throat, one after another. And by the age of 5, the doctors decided the solution was to remove my tonsils. Well, at that time, it was considered routine. I also had several kidney infections and my immune system never felt strong. As a teenager, I became very unwell with what I now know was mononucleosis, or mono. In the mid-90s, nobody recognized it. I remember being exhausted, sleeping constantly, and feeling as though I couldn't hold myself upright. And the doctors told me my blood volume was unusually low, about 67% of what it should have been, but that was the end of the investigation. No tests for iron or B12, no explanation, only, you're fine. I wasn't fine. Now, knowing what I know, I can see the clear signs of severe iron deficiency that went unrecognized for years. And why I was experiencing iron deficiency, how I finally got it under control at 50, I will tell you in another episode. Through my teens and early adulthood, that exhaustion came and went in waves. Some days I could function, others I could barely move. My immune system was fragile, and yet I kept going because that was what I had always done. I kept going, no matter what. In my 20s, I began experimenting with juice fasting, and I was curious, searching for clarity, and those fasts gave me a brief moment of lightness and relief. Over time, I became more serious about understanding health. I trained as a nutrition specialist when I was pregnant and a personal trainer, seeking answers not just for myself, but also for others who were struggling in the same way I was. When I later became a mother, I carried those same patterns with me. I pushed through fatigue, disregarded my body's needs, and tried to prove I was strong. Raising my children gave me purpose and joy, but underneath I was still running on empty. When I was 30, my father died of colorectal cancer. And That loss changed me. Even though I already had my nutrition certification, his death deepened my determination to understand illness at its root. Not simply how to treat symptoms, but why the body breaks down in the first place. Around 2008 or 2009, after a 30-day juice fast, I had an experience. This experience transformed my life. I had an out-of-body experience. It was so vivid that I thought I had died. And if you never had an out-of-body experience while sleeping, it was because it was the start of my spiritual journey. And it was one of those wake-up calls. It was powerful. And it shook me. When I came back into my body, my heart pounded violently. And I was sure I was having a heart attack. It was terrifying. And yet, it opened something profound. From that moment, I knew that healing wasn't only physical, it was also spiritual. From then on, I explored meditation, ancestral work, and deeper reflection. I began to see how pain can be passed down through generations, how unresolved emotions can lead to illness, and how forgiveness on a soul level can free not only the heart, but also the body. Spirituality has become an integral part of my path, although I always remind my listeners that it doesn't have to be a part of theirs. You can heal on your own with practical tools, nervous system work, nutrition, and creativity. For me, spirituality was essential. Over the years, I've had seasons of stability, times when I felt normal, what was normal for me, more better days than bad ones. I felt energetic and clear. And other times when exhaustion and depression and health issues resurfaced, often triggered by stress or relationships or loss. I've also lived through what many now call long COVID, after several COVID infections. These experiences taught me how fragile yet resilient the body can be, and how safety and nutrition are the real foundation of healing. My work today weaves all of this together. It's about helping people, but mainly women who are still trying to make sense of their own story. Those who carry childhood trauma, experienced narcissistic abuse, whether known or hidden. Those whose nervous system are dysregulated. Those who live with digestive issues and food intolerances or chronic fatigue. Many are neurodivergent, highly sensitive or empathic, and they often feel unseen by traditional medicine. What I've learned through both experience, study, and research is that true healing is not linear. It's a layered process. The body holds its own profound wisdom, and when we listen, it shows us the way back. Nutrition, natural medicine, and herbal support provide the foundation. Creativity, mindfulness, and gratitude restore flow. and open your heart. And self-love and compassion complete the circle. These are not extras. They are the medicine. When you listen to this podcast, please know that everything I share comes from both the science I've studied and the life I have lived. My goal is to help you reconnect with yourself, find practical tools for healing, and create space for your own intuitive knowing to return. Before we close, I want to leave you with a few reflections. How about a journal prompt? Ask yourself this. Which parts of my story were ignored or misunderstood? And how can I begin to validate them myself? Which parts of my story were ignored or misunderstood? And how can I begin to validate them myself? Before you go to bed tonight, an affirmation. My body and my mind have always done their best to protect me, and now I choose to protect them with love. Place one hand over your heart. Say it with me. My body and my mind have always done their best to protect me. And now I choose to protect them with love. Repeat it. Write it down. And then repeat it again. How about a small action for today? Take a few slow breaths today. Place a hand over your heart and simply say, I am listening. That's where healing begins. I am listening. Now, I would like to thank you for listening to my first episode of Body and Soul Healing. What an amazing journey. You can learn more, book a one-on-one session, or download your free guide, Is This Trauma? At solameliora.com. That SOLAMELIORA.com. Sola Meliora. Which is Latin for simply the best things. Now, healing doesn't mean you have to erase your past. It means integrating it with compassion. Until next time, my love, take care of your body and soul. Thank you very much.